Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Not Another Whisky Podcast, the show where we talk about all things whisky, but in a way that makes you wish that you'd actually drank all those whiskies before you listened in. I am Nicholas Polacki and honoured to be considered your guide through this barrel-aged galaxy, joined as always by my esteemed co-pilot and chat master slam, the man who's seen more short pours than Ronnie Corbett, Mr. Mitch Bouchard.
I like that, dude. Ronnie Corbett, fucking hell, that's a blast from the past. Remember him?
Aye, just a wee joke for you there, mate.
I like that. I liked it. Any more wee puns for the episode, or is that us?
Oh, that was just a little short story that I wrote for you.
So what was it? What was it that used to sign off? That's goodbye from him and goodbye from me, or
correct.
That could be our new tagline, mate. Like, that's Slanjava from him and Slanjava from me.
Aye, we'd be called the two Alkies. Anyway, what the hell have you been up to?
Mate, where do you want me to start? It's been fucking nuts. Yeah, I mean, since we had a proper catch-up
You've been up
episode,
to nuts?
Well,
Wait,
yeah.
You've been up to nuts. Well, go off your knees. There's your first edit.
I thought we were going to have this a clean edit, mate. Come on.
That's staying in then.
I think last time we spoke, I was about to head to Singapore with Wildmore, so I did that. That was unbelievable. Went to Changi Airport, did the release there. So really cool to see that in play. And love going to Singapore, love going to Changi. Hung about there for a couple of days. It was literally, I was in and out, mate. It was like Thursday night, I think I flew. And then I was jumped on the plane from Singapore Sunday morning. So I literally didn't even have enough time to get jet lag. And then I came straight back from that, and we were into Spirit of Speyside, which unfortunately you didn't make it along to, which you were sadly missed during our podcast live.
And sad not to be at it, brother. My apologies to everybody who was there and obviously had spent that money buying a ticket hoping to see me and not Mitch. My apologies.
They were so disappointed that you weren't. Actually, 5 people walked out, mate. 5 people walked out because you weren't there.
I'm not shocked, but my sincere apologies. Life, sadly, I have had a lot of travel on, and as much as I would love to travel again across the country to come and drink whiskey, I have a young son that I had to take care of. So my apologies for that.
Yeah,
but anyway, tell me how good it was,
mate.
The episode was amazing, by the way. If you've not listened, go back and listen to it. It's hands down one of the funniest, maybe one of the funniest, mostly because of the panel. The panel was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we just ripped the shit out of each other. So there was just a lot of taking the piss, which was great. And amazing whiskies as well. And if you guys haven't listened to it, go back and listen to it. You do have a chance to win. We're giving away driver's drams of the 4 whiskies that we tried. So if you haven't listened to it yet, then, we tried a Glenglassaugh 42-year-old. We tried a 20-year-old Tamdhu, a 32-year-old grain from Duncan Taylor, and the Spirit of Speyside release from Glenfiddich, which was a Palo Cortado finish. So the way you can win this is if you go on our Instagram page and look at the post that we did from Spirit of Speyside, like it, tag someone who you want to share these amazing drams with. Then we're going to pick someone at random towards the start of June. I want to say like 6th of June, roundabout there. And we're going to send them out to the winner. Caveat to that, they have to be based in the UK, unfortunately, or else it just makes it really awkward for us to send the samples out to you. So yeah, mate, such a good episode. Really enjoyed doing it. We need to do more of those live episodes, whether that's in Scotland or with you over in the US. I think that needs to be our goal.
100%, mate. 100%. Can't wait.
Yeah. No, so really good. Enjoyed Spirit of Speyside. We did another 6 events with Copper Cairn. Really cool events. Good to catch up with a load of people here, just see people, see what's going on. And then I was straight into hosting private clients after that. So it was like back to back with just tours around Speyside. And then we just finished up with Whisky Talks in Glasgow. So that was immense. We had about 80 people along to that. Shout out to everyone who's listening that came along. Really cool to see you guys there. And, that was our 3rd one. We've done Aberdeen, Edinburgh, and now Glasgow. And then we're going to move on to go back to the north and do Aberdeen and Inverness in November. So yeah, mate, need to we should get you over for one of them, get you on the panel.
100%. Let's see if I can actually make it this time. Do you know what? I think the easiest thing for me with Scotland is I actually need to plan some business stuff out in Scotland and then throw this in, because flying all that way for a 30-minute record is amazing, but probably not Probably not usable for my lifestyle at the moment, but yeah, we need to figure out a way to put that together.
I mean, you do have a lot of excuses to come over here, so you know.
Do you know what? I can't say too much right now, but I'm working on more excuses to come over. So stay tuned.
Indeed, mate. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the final thing that I'm going to talk about, I've been up to a load. The final thing that I'm going to talk about was on Friday night, went to Cirque du Soleil, the Macallan distillery, which was unbelievable. I mean, possibly
Finally, mate, all those gymnastics lessons that you've been taking have paid off.
It's funny though, because like I know quite a lot of the staff up at Macallan, and
Yep.
you know, they're kind of helping out, pass out drinks and be there, like the kind of, you know, the side of the show. And one of them was like, "Oh yeah, brilliant! I can put Cirque du Soleil on my CV now," you know, which I thought was pretty funny.
That is the well played, McCallum.
Honestly, mate, so what they've done for this is they've literally emptied out a whole warehouse, and the entire Cirque du Soleil show is in this warehouse. So you walk in, and initially they do this kind of like sort of lab experimenting thing, and everyone's kind of standing, walking about, sort of interacting with all the artists. And then they do this kind of like a pre-show in this area, and then you walk through to the main stage. And you know, if you've seen Cirque du Soleil before, you know what these guys do. It's incredible acrobatics, like just unbelievable. But the really cool thing is they've done this specifically for Speyside and for Macallan. It's not very heavily branded. Cool. But it's this whole aspect of Speyside and Scotland that they've brought into it. Like they had a stream running through the stage, and as soon as you walked in, there was a gilly there, like fly fishing. But the really like the cool part of it as well is when the show finished, they invited you on stage and they brought this tree on, and the tree had glasses of Macallan in it, and you went up to the tree and grabbed your dram off it. It was like that's just brilliant. Fucking unbelievable.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Mate, do you know how you kill Cirque du Soleil? Go for the juggler. Oof. Oof.
Anyway, mate, that's enough about me.
One. We'll keep the jokes to the end, right?
Exactly, mate. Maybe you should be barred from the jokes at the end, though. I don't know.
Oof, after that, maybe.
But yeah, enough about me. What you been up to, man? What's been happening?
Similar. I've just came back from. I decided to drive to Buffalo, so I was a bit of a Buffalo soldier. So I just went up to Buffalo, New York. I think that's what that song's about. The drive back and forth to Buffalo from New Jersey.
You got to be a soldier to do it.
I might be wrong there. I might be wrong. So I took a little drive up to Buffalo, all 6 hours of it, and spent 2 days up there with our new distributor team. So we've got a new distributor for Shibuya, Empire Merchants, who did a bang up job, like in upstate New York. Like, I'm not kidding. It was back to back stuff. Like, I didn't stop all day and all night, but it was fantastic. Like, really good. You know, the guys that you've worked with the Empire team before, right?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I didn't do that much in New York, but yeah, I know
you didn't do that much ever. Like, out in the States. But yeah. So up to Buffalo, which was brilliant. And then tomorrow, I fly out tomorrow morning. I'm heading to Boston. So I was out in Boston a couple of weeks ago. It was brilliant.
Are you going to park the car?
I did go park the car. But do you know what's cool about Boston? I didn't realize this. You know that they have the same amount of liquor licenses that were issued after Prohibition has never changed, even though the size of the city and the residency has quadrupled since then. So, true story, they have what are called these kind of little, like liqueur bars. So, basically, in Boston.
What kind of bars?
Liqueur.
Liquor?
No, liqueur. Like, yeah, like, you can get pastis and you can get
liqueur.
Amaretto, and you can
Sorry,
get...
Mate, you're so American, I can't understand you these days.
Oh, don't you dare. Don't you dare. But the story behind it's even funnier. So basically, the Italians who are living, and you know what Italians I'm talking about, bada bing, Italians. Huh? Those guys that now that I've done that impression have probably got a fucking target on my back. But those guys, Tony the Hammer. So Tony is like a little upset that after dinner he can't have a little dop, just a little touch of amaretto or a little whatever. Like, I can't.
Did you not marry into that family? You married into that family, didn't you? I remember doing.
Yes.
I remember doing a Christmas with them once. It was crazy.
Don't. They might be listening.
All right.
Not likely, but they might be listening. Exactly. Thanks for that. So anyway, up in Boston, the Italian guys who basically wanted like a grappa or a sambuca after dinner or with a cup of coffee in the middle of the day petitioned the government and were like, you don't need to give out full liquor licenses. You need to get about these kind of little half booze licenses to make sure that you can do beer, wine, and basically anything but spirits.
Huh.
So anything above that kind of 32% ABV threshold doesn't make the cut, I think. So it's pretty cool. So you can go and have a cup of coffee, like a little, honestly, espresso. You can have an Aperol spritz and then finish up with a Sambuca and be on your way.
Nice.
And they all serve like really good food, but it's really nice. Like it's really civilized, believe it or not. Really, really quite pleasant to go into these little spots.
I do like Boston. It's one of my favorite spots. I got to say as well, I'm kind of weird in the way that I really like a Boston accent, like a good hardcore Boston accent. I think it's fucking brilliant.
And honestly, like I was out again, our distributor in Boston, give them a shout out, the Horizon team, like the guys that I were out with 2 days back to back, and it was the best 2 days in Boston I've ever had. Like, just amazing accounts. Like, I'm not even joking. I went to like a members club, and I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about them, but this private members club, and it was like Soho House on steroids, like absolutely the best of the best of the best, but like really fun and casual. It's like a house that you can go and hang out in. Like 5 stories of just like, I think there's got 4 or 5 bars inside it, a couple of restaurants inside it. You can go and work if you're a member, sit there, but you need to close your laptop by like 4:30, 5 o'clock. There's no work after that. They had a nightclub inside it, like a bespoke, tiny little like underground nightclub, like hidden rooms. They've got their own speakeasy inside there. Basically, the whole thing's a big speakeasy. Like they've got a Japanese whiskey bar. They've got like an amazing like Asian themed restaurant. It's just unbelievable.
I'm assuming the Japanese whiskey bar has shibui in it now.
I would assume so too. Yeah, I think we're going to be doing a bit of stuff with them over the next few months and things to come. But like, I'm not even joking. Like, very rarely do I get wowed because like we get to see some of the best stuff all over the world, right? In this amazing booze business, people want to come and speak to us. But this was hands down one of the coolest places I've ever been in.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very, very cool indeed. So outside of that, and then I'm going to Connecticut, Miami, and DC. So those are my next few little trips coming up.
Busy boy.
Indeed. Busy boy, busy boys. The pair of us.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But let's have this catch up on whiskey news. There's been plenty going on and some fun stuff coming up.
Loads, mate. Everyone's been super busy as well, eh? You want to kick this off with some Ben Riach?
100%. So Ben Riach have just launched a 50-year-old single malt. So Brown-Forman Global Travel Retail made the press release about it, but actually it is going to be around the world. Some of it will sit in GTR. But this 50-year-old release, it's the brand's oldest Scotch whisky release to date. So it's a 50-year-old. I think they did this launch at TFWA, Asia Pacific Exhibition and Conference in Singapore. So they were out there probably doing this when you were there, Mitch. Only 37 bottles of this whisky are available worldwide. Rip-roaring £25,000 or $31,329. 5 of which, only 5 will be in the global travel retail channel. So think of your top 5 airports. I'm sure there'll be one in the States, there'll be one in Asia, like Singapore. Where's your guess, Mitch? I'm going Singapore. I want to say Los Angeles. I want to say probably London.
Definitely London.
And the Terminal 5, right? And there'll be a couple of other big boys out there that managed to scoop this up. Probably one in Japan.
Yeah, probably Dubai Airport as well.
Dubai.
It's interesting when you
those
look
could be the 5. They don't say what 5 is going to be, but those were my guesses.
Because you look at where everything's going right now, right? I mean, a lot of this stuff is going over to Asia. We're seeing that happen. There's a massive movement over there right now. That's where all the money is. That's where people are buying some serious whiskey.
And the Middle East as well. So where they can, obviously. So this was a whiskey which was filled on the 21st of September 1966 distillate, going into a bourbon cask 2383 with unpeated Ben Riach new make spirit, and then is bottled after 50 years at 44.5% ABV. Super cool. Like I'm a big fan of Ben Riach. I think it's probably one of the best underrated whiskies on the market. And the tasting notes include aromas of oak, chestnut, maraschino, cherries, and gentle acacia honey. Not just honey, but acacia honey. The palate is said to bring honey dates, delicate oat spices, and lingering apple, pear, and traces of grapefruit, which also sounds like things you could find in Daz's beard. So we've not picked on Daz in a while, so I thought we'd throw that one in.
Why not? Why not? That sounds delicious. I'm sure it is. Benriach are just smashing out of the park right now. We had Charlotte Coyle on the show a while back talking about Benriach and all things Brown-Forman. And, for me in Speyside right now, that goes into one of my top 5 whiskies. So I'm sure that 50-year-old is absolutely banging. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Someone send us a sample. See the way I said us there, Nicholas? Change it to us and not me.
Exactly. And I'm in, like, if any of this little, we should really be doing tastings with these things, not just talking about the press releases, but it's pretty cool to see that we've got these wow factors. Like, me, Mitch, like one of my favorite whiskies of all time is a Benriach 16-year-old Sauterne cask finish. I've got 2 bottles of it left. I think they only made about 2,600 bottles in the world. And I've got 2 of them still. And it's insane. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I think it's interesting just now that I think that would have been pre Rachel Barry, I'm assuming, because I think I've seen those bottles that you have, and they're the old stock, right? Is that Billy Walker stock?
Yeah, it's Billy Walker stock, yeah.
So I think it's a really interesting brand now that Rachel Barry's come on board with it, and the stuff that she's doing. I know Bill. It'd be interesting to get Billy and Rachel on the show. Have it out. Who made it better?
Well, here's what's cool about it. Like, this is neither of them had a hand in this. So Billy Walker would have bought this stock from when he took over the distillery, and then Brown-Forman would have bought the stock when they took over the distillery. So this will be Rachel Barry going through the stock profiles of Wow Factor and being like, we need to get this in a bottle and put it out there and put some fun stuff. But like, it's a great distillery. It's one of my favorite distilleries to kind of go around as well. Like, the floor maltings are there. It's just cool. Like,
floor maltings aren't there anymore, mate.
Wow, they were there when I was last there. So I'm going to talk about my imaginary dream story. They've got rid of them.
Yeah.
See, to be fair, it was more for show. Like,
it's been closed down for a while now. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to open them back up again. But they haven't been running the floor maltings for a while now. Well, we'll see.
What I do remember, what I was going to say is, what I do remember about it is that they had such a high amount of wild, like, I know they've got a 50-year-old release, but the amount of rare whiskey that they've got sitting on is insane. Because Sam Simmons and I were with the team there when we went over, and this has gone back maybe 10 years, and they were not shy of cracking 40 and 50-year-old barrels open for us to taste some of this. So I may have actually tried this. I mean, I remember being like, holy shit. And they didn't, when you get a cask like that, people don't really, take the bung out and let you have a nose and taste. No problem. And you get. And that was when Billy was looking after it, and the team were amazing. So really looked after us, yeah.
On to other news. Heather Green, our good friend, has been a bit busy with Milliman Green. They have got a new bottle in Bond bourbon coming out. So Heather made the move from New York to Texas to start up her own brand, which it's amazing to see her doing really well. And they've announced their first ever bottled in Bond release, which is a 5-year-old bourbon that was distilled in the fall of 2019. And, this is a mash bill of 70% corn, 22% malted rye, and 8% barley. And Heather's quoted in this press release as saying she's over the moon on how this turned out. The use of column stills in Kentucky and adherence to the Bottled in Bond Act regulations added a refinement of subtlety that fans of traditional bourbon will love. So well done, Heather. We need to get Heather on the show, mate. We haven't had her on the show yet to talk about her new brand, so we need to put that on the to-do list.
We do indeed. And for those of you who don't know, bottled and bond rules and regulations basically means that all the distillate needs to come out of 1 year, and then it needs to be bottled at least 50% ABV or 100 proof.
Yeah, so which this one is obviously, and priced at $65. So very reasonable.
Yeah, very reasonable. That is a bargain. And like, think about it that way. Think about how much whiskey you're getting for your whiskey. I think it all needs to be a certain age statement as well. I'm not into my need to brush up on my bourbon rules, but I think it needs to be 4 years old. I may be wrong on that, but like, so that's that for how much do you say?
$65.
I shall be looking to pick one up myself.
Yeah.
That's a treat.
Just get Heather. Heather listens to the show. Heather,
I
send
know,
Palacky
but
a bottle.
I will not be asking for a free one. That's where you go out and support a bit of love.
I know.
The smaller producers, right, will go and buy them. But like the big boys, come on, Brian Foreman, get that 50-year-old out. But you release 37 bottles, make it 36. Me and Mitch have got damage to do. Mitch, celebrity brand. We're on to another.
Oh, here comes the rant. Here's the rant that everyone is waiting for. Go.
Brace yourself. I might like this.
Shut up.
I might like it. I'm not even kidding. And you're going to be like, wait. And when you hear who it is, you're going to go fuck yourself. But this is a good one. Michal Flattley is teaming up to make an Irish whiskey. So if you don't know who Michal Flattley is, he's the dancer from Riverdance, created Riverdance, Lord of the Dance. So he's going from Lord of the Dance to Lord of the Drams and is making an Irish whiskey. So distilled out of the Great Northern Distillery in Ireland, he's created a brand called Flattley, and the whiskey is a 5-year-old blend called the Dreamer. And I fucking love this, and I'll tell you why I love it, because it's not bullshit and it's got authenticity, and he's an actual whiskey guy. So for those of you that don't know, obviously Michal Flattley is American born, but to 2 Irish parents, grew up in a household where his dad was an Irish whiskey drinker, is obviously, I think he's hands down, if you think of this guy, he put Ireland on the map and is probably one of the greatest ambassadors for Ireland. No, he didn't put Ireland on the map. Let me apologise for that. He put Irish dancing on the map and made it a worldwide phenomenon, hands down. I remember, I don't know if you remember this, it was Eurovision Song Contest, and he came out and did probably 1990 or something like that. Like it was, I remember as a kid watching this, and they did Riverdance in the halftime show, and it was like one of the most watched things. And then Irish dancing exploded around the world. Do you know he's got the fastest tap feet in the world?
I did not know that. Tell us a story about that, Nicholas.
He holds the world record for the most taps per second. 35 taps per second. You should look it up on YouTube. It is insane.
35 taps. Wait, that's
it's like
almost as many drams as you can do in a second.
More, I wish. There's not much things I can do in a second. Dramming wouldn't have been the first thing I would have come to mind, but okay.
35 taps. I can't even think of like how that would look in my head.
Like, so, but here's why this went, right? So his dad grew up, like, thinking about it, his whole story is growing up in an Irish family, being around Irish whiskey. He owns an estate in Cork called the Castlehyde Estate, where he built his own whiskey room, where for years he's been hosting whiskey tastings. So this isn't a guy that was approached by like when you read through, Mitch, we get these press releases all the time, and it's like, yeah, my agent came to me. I thought I was going to do an American whiskey, but somebody came to me with an Irish whiskey instead, and so I decided to do that. Right? Do you know what I mean? Remember Jean-Claude Van Damme? Remember that press release?
Yeah. You're lucky you didn't get your lights punched in by him after that slagging you gave him.
Fucking bring it on. Have you seen him? Fucking set about with a claw and a hammer. Bring it on. Jean-Claude. Challenge accepted. Exactly.
So
not because I think I can outbeat him in a fight, but I think I can outrun him.
This might be the first celebrity that we want to get on the show to talk about his whiskey then that you don't want to punch.
100%. So like, this is a guy that's like really into his whiskies and was like, I got the opportunity, but it's more than that. It's the team that he's put around him to do it all. So he's got Jim Clerkin, who'll be CEO, Perrick Bouquet, and Noel Sweeney. Now, if you've not heard of those names, here's why these are important. So Sweeney was the former master distiller of Ireland's Powerscourt Distillery and Cooley Distillery, right? So straight out the gate, you've got master distillers that you should really want to be part of your team. So real like whiskey people. Clerkin, who's going to like run the business for him, was the chairman of USA retailer Reserve Bar and chairman of the board for Tequila Seltzer Onda. He was also the former CEO of Moët Hennessy North America. So again, you've got an expert booze group of people around you. And I'm going to say bouquet, but it might be bouquet, and it might be like hyacinth bucket, like hyacinth bouquet, lady of the house speaking. But This is the one guy that I don't know, but I did look him up. He served as VP of marketing for 21 Seeds, which later sold to Diageo, and he was a former chief brand officer for Calarosa tequila. So it's just pretty cool. Like it's a group of like real like whiskey people, and when you hear him speak about it, it's not. I mean, he's obviously like a little sing-songy, and his passion for it. He's like what his understanding and his craft was for like making it. So he's like, Irish whiskey was a favorite of my father's, and through his passion, and I came to appreciate its complex flavors. So it's a very proud moment to launch Flattley Irish whiskey, and I know my daddy will be smiling down on me. For me, Irish whiskey, much like Irish dance, embodies the essence of Ireland, its history, its spirit, and its ability to bring people together in celebration. So it's a bit lovey and sing-songy, right? But
by the way, for everyone listening, that was Nicholas Polacki doing his impression of Michael Flattley. That wasn't Michael Flattley coming on the show quickly and talking about
was
it. Dude, it was like I was there. It was like Riverdance, you know. It was like I was right there.
It was, and here's Michael Flattley doesn't speak with an Irish accent; he speaks with an American accent. So that's how close it was to Michael Flattley. But I don't hate this. I think it's like
that's good.
A 5-year-old Irish blend for $48, 45 euros. It's only available in stores, bars, and hotels in Ireland right now, and on the brand's online website. I'd buy this, and I bet you for $50.
I'm gutted. I sent this to you to try and wind you up.
You wanted me to be the angry man, didn't you?
Yeah. I wanted to bring out a little bit of a angry Nicholas.
Well, I'll tell you why I like it. It's authentic. It's a guy that's spent his life dedicated to making Ireland his thing, right? Whether it was through dancing or who builds a whiskey tasting room in their home and hosts private whiskey events to get people that he loves about all Irish whiskey. So his back bar isn't filled with his own brand. His back bar is filled with whiskey, all whiskies, Irish whiskies, other world whiskies, but Irish whiskies predominantly. And he's like a true advocate and champion. So I don't mind when people come in authentically, if they've done other things in their careers but they've loved and breathed and whatever. I have a problem when it's some douchebag who famously doesn't drink alcohol because they're a sports star, and then all of a sudden they've got a tequila brand. Go fuck yourself. Like all day long, we'll take that fight. Anybody who stands up and says, I don't really drink whiskey, but with this one, I can put it in a martini, like a apple teeny. Remember that dickhead Rod Stewart? Like, come on, save me. Like, don't make it so easy that I can rip you apart, right? Yeah. If you're going to come on, be like, this is a great spirit. Here's my rock star team that helped me put together. Here's the distillation site. Really transparent and authentic about how it's been done. I like this.
So what we're saying is we're going to get Michael Flattley on the show to talk about his new whiskey.
If he's listening, if he listens, which I think he does.
Why wouldn't he?
He does. Well, he does pop into Mitch's DMs from time to time, just saying, great show, boys. Great show, lads. Totally enjoy that.
I had to block him. Getting fucking annoying.
Exactly. Too much.
Nah.
I'm going to reach
Mikey
out
boy,
and see if
get on the show.
on.
Yeah, let's get him on the show. Why not? Right, on to other news, because this isn't the Michael Flattley show here, believe it or not. So
I do know a disproportionate amount of things about Michael Flattley for somebody that doesn't dance, by the way.
Now, but on to other news. Our good friends, who you know as well, Nicholas, Jason Scott and Mike Aikman, that own Bramble Bar, and they also have Lucky Liquor. They also have their own company called Mothership. They've just launched 12 new flavored liqueurs for Lucky Liquor, which look incredible. So, you know, they had their own liqueur called Bramble quite a while ago. They've stopped that now, and they're really focusing on this. But I will put the link to this in the show notes because they look absolutely incredible. The design that's been done on these look really cool. It's not a whiskey, but these guys, bear in mind, they do their own independent bottles of whiskey. One of them we've talked about on the show quite a bit, which is their Tandu 8-year-old. They also had a Strathclyde 29-year-old single grain that they brought out. A 28-year-old single grain. So they are dabbling in whiskey, obviously doing incredible cocktails as well. If you're in Edinburgh, get yourself along to Lucky Liquor and Bramble. I mean, Bramble doesn't really need any advertising. It constantly wins best bar in the world with GQ and several other cocktail awards. So incredible spot in Edinburgh. Well done, guys. The new branding and everything you've done there looks really cool. And, always really cool to support our good friends and independent bottlers that are doing a great job like this.
Yeah, 100%. Super cool. Well done, guys. Speaking of people that are doing some amazing things, Mitch, Not Another Whiskey podcast has been named in the top 10 best whiskey podcasts to listen to. The amazing people of the Whisky Scoop. So first and foremost, thanks very much to the amazing people at the Whisky Scoop. They put together a collaboration of the best listening material that is whiskey-centric, including some of the best podcasts I've listened to. So Uncut and Unfiltered podcast made the list. Poor Decisions podcast, Dram Fine, Uncorked Whiskey Sessions with Sam Simmons, right? You've got Pot Still Radio, Honest to a Malt, which is a great name for a pun, Honest to a Malt. Whiskey Cast, obviously with Mark, everybody knows that one as well. You get Whiskey Sisters with Inca and Jennifer Rose, and Dram Face. And then on that list is Not Another Whiskey podcast. So this particular podcast, this story goes, this is how they've written it. This particular podcast with hosts Mitch Bouchard and Nicholas M. Polaki not only offers engaging banter, but also provides a wealth of valuable insights into the world of whiskey. With a perfect blend of entertainment and education, it captures the essence of what makes whiskey enthusiasts truly passionate about their favourite spirit. Look at that.
Nice. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, this is really cool to see.
And we're in great company. So thanks for the rest of the people that made that list. Congratulations. But thanks to the wonderful people at the Whisky Scoop for that tip of the hat. So Mitch, I guess we're going to be in World Whiskey Awards, Best Communicators of the Year, right? I guess that's us. We're going for the gold, right? We're going for the medals now.
Round the corner, mate. Round the corner. So I want to finish off the news with a big bit of news, actually, that came through. And that is that Dennis Malcolm, OBE, is going to retire from Glen Grant after 63 years of being there. So Dennis Malcolm, I don't know if you've met him or not, Nicholas, but absolute legend.
Yes.
First time I met him, went up to Glen Grant. This is about 3, maybe 4 years ago now. And we were going to be doing an event together. I didn't realize he was going to be there. He showed up and we ended up walking around the gardens for about an hour and a half. And he was just telling me all these incredible stories about his career, about Glen Grant. And then we went on to do the event. And it was an event where we'd been to 2 distilleries already. It was the Water Source tour with Larkfire. And when we got to Glen Grant, Dennis was there and proceeded to overserve, let's say, all the guests. Like unbelievable amount. We're walking up through the gardens. He's like, come on. I don't want to carry this 15-year-old bottle back. Let's just finish it up here and then I can just chuck it in the bin here. It was chat like that all the way up. And by the time everyone got back on the bus, we had to do Tamdhu for the last drams of the tour. And it was with Gordon Dundas that was meeting us down in Tamdhu. And we jumped off the bus and Gordon just looked at me and looked at everyone and went, okay, I'm going to take the cast strength stuff away and I'm not going to talk that much and just give them a small dram of Tamdhu. And I was like, yeah, probably the best, because Dennis Malcolm kind of overserved us. But yeah, so Dennis, great to see you going to retire, well deserved. And he said he's just going to enjoy his time in Rothes where he spends his life. And, if you've been to Glen Grant before, that's where that's situated too. Unbelievable having an OBE up there with being recognised for his services to the Scotch whisky industry. He is going to be replaced, I suppose, kind of hard person to replace, big shoes to fill, by Greg Stables, who's been there 18 years, master distiller. He's going to take on that role on the 1st of July when Dennis chucks in the towel, so to speak, and retires. So kind of really cool to see it. Well done, Dennis. Amazing. Enjoy your retirement, big man.
Yeah, congratulations, Dennis. Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah. But mate, keeping on the space side kind of theme here, right? The other day I was walking my dog and I met this guy who started telling me about his chickens because, that's the kind of chat you have up in space side, right? Made me piss myself though, because he told me his names for his chickens. One was called Hen Solo. The other one was called Jabba the Cluck. The third one was called Obi-Hen Kenobi, and the final one was Princess Leia.
Nice. Clearly, he's a Star Trek fan.
Well, yeah,
Oh, just
absolutely.
joking. Star Wars, mate. Star Wars. That was my.
Star Trek, come on. It's got everyone like chucking stuff at the speaker listening to this.
Exactly. That's how you
But
know the
mate,
Star Wars fans.
well, keep it on the Star Wars theme. Here's a joke for you.
Sure.
What did Darth Vader say to Luke when he was having trouble with his chopsticks?
I don't know.
Use the fork, Luke.
Where do you get these? They're,
Save them
all
up
right,
from
okay.
Christmas crackers.
In Edinburgh there's the Indian restaurant called Karma.
Uh-huh.
They don't have a menu. You just get what you deserve.
Dude, I've actually got a joke that's on topic for a change. It's actually whiskey related, believe it or not. Two bank robbers go into a liquor store. One grabbed a bottle of whiskey and said, "Is this whiskey?" The other said, "Yeah, but not as whiskey as robbing a bank." There you go, mate. Our first
like
ever
that.
like proper whiskey joke, I think we've
That's
ever
a proper
told on the
whiskey
show.
joke. I like that. I'm going to put that in my repertoire.
Could use it to start one of your Shibuya tastings.
I shall indeed. Here's one for you. What's made of leather and sounds like a sneeze?
I like that one. That's good. That's good.
All right.
Right.
That is us. That is us, right?
That is us. We're out. That was a good catch up, mate. Enjoyed chatting to you as always. It was good to have a little catch up episode. We are back next week with a really cool episode. We sat down with Aldo Kane. So I don't know if any of you guys remember when I was chatting about Wildmore, their ambassador on the adventure side of things is a gentleman called Aldo Kane. Really interesting cat. Done some crazy things in his life. Used to be a sniper for the Royal Marines. He's chatting about all his adventures, climbing mountains, doing some crazy stuff, and how he likes to drink whiskey as well. So keep your ears open for next week's episode.
He likes to drink whiskey because he was a sniper. I'm sure it's just as a shot.
I thought we'd finish the joke section.
I'm just worried now Aldo might go back to his previous vocation to take me out.
Anyway, on that note, thank you so much, guys, for listening. Give us a little like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram. It means a load to us, and drop us some messages as well. We always like to hear from you guys. But thank you again so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.